You go out to your mailbox and you are completely thrilled because your smock just arrived in the mail. You open it up, you got all these pockets. Now, what to put in them? I've kind of broken down the items that I carry into 5 categories, and that is signaling, navigation, ignition, hydration, and multi-tool. The nice thing about carrying a glow stick on a lanyard that's roughly 2 feet long is once you snap it, you can, at nighttime, spin it around, and now you have a glowing circle which you can use for signaling. Say there was a helicopter or something searching for you and you were lost. So make a nice circle in the night sky and allow them to easily find you. Another item to carry for signaling is a signal mirror. The way signal mirror works is you look through on this side and you aim this. When you get the hot spot of the sun in there and it puts like a sun flare in there, then you can direct the mirror towards aircraft or things like that and use that for signaling. So if your smock like mine comes equipped with D-rings, then you can put a small carabiner on there, clip that on, put it in your pocket, and forget about it. Another item to carry, which is quite important, is a really good whistle. Now Fox 40, they make really good whistles, which are extremely loud. So definitely piercing the decibel range. So if you're wounded, you've fallen maybe off a ledge or something, you broke your leg, arm, things like that, and you can hear people calling for you. Good thing to have that doesn't take a lot of energy to have if you've fallen down. And that whistle will carry a long ways through the forest or valleys, things like that. So another good item. Clip that on your D-ring. Put it in your pocket. Close it up. Forget about it. It's there for an emergency in case you need it. Under navigation is a headlamp, and preferably one that will have a red lens. That way, when you need to look at a map, say at nighttime, with using a red lens, it doesn't affect your night vision so much and allows you to retain your night vision. So that's kind of a neat thing to have. This one, you hold both buttons down, and once the light comes on, doesn't matter if you press it, the light's not gonna go on, and it's not gonna lose it. So an item like this, usually your smock will have a zippered pocket. I would take that item, put it in your zippered pocket, and close it up and forget about it. Another item that's good to have for navigation, especially when you're trying to find your way around in unknown terrain. Now, I recently did a video on this, and this is a ranger beads. Some people call them pace counting beads. So that's another nice thing to have. One of the most important things to have for navigation is a compass. Having a compass, really important. Sometimes I generally carry 2 compasses. I ran into a situation once when I was 16 years old that I got so turned around in the bush. Now, this is partly due to inexperience, that I didn't want to believe my compass because I was following wind direction and the wind changed. And when I put my compass out, I had thought my compass wasn't working. But I listened to my dad's words, and he says, always trust your compass. So I followed my compass, and lo and behold, it led me out of the bush. back to where the vehicle was parked. So always trust your compass. In this bag is 3 items that falls under navigation, and that is your map of your area, a notepad to take notes, and a pen to write those notes. So that's 3 really critical, important items to have that's part of navigation. It's really important to take the time beforehand before you venture out somewhere. I will look on a map. I will get a backroads backpack map book that will show trails. I will get on Google Earth and I will look and see if there's any type of really unknowns in the terrain, and really check things out before you head out on your venture. So having these 3 items, that's another thing that I will keep in my pocket for navigation. But I should say I'm not going to keep it in my button pocket because this isn't attached to a lanyard. That's going in the front pocket here in a zipper, just like that. For ignition, there are 2 items that I think are pretty paramount to carry. One is a lighter and the other one is a fire steel. Some people call it a ferrocerium rod. Now, I prefer to put a lanyard on a fire steel long enough that you can put it over your head. You don't want to run the risk of making a fire and then setting your fire steel down and then displacing it and losing it. So once you get your spark, get your fire going, take that fire steel, either stow it around your neck. I've also put a carabiner in here so that way it can immediately go back into my pocket. It's attached and it's back in the pocket where it won't get lost. With a lighter, you can put a lanyard with a ranger band and carabiner on a lighter if you prefer. I'm not. I'm simply taking this lighter and putting it in my zippered pocket with my headlamp. So that's where that's going to sit. Generally, when most people are going on their outdoors adventures, they're probably carrying a canteen or some plastic bottle, some means to carry water around. So what I decided to carry in my smock, because it is extremely small, lightweight, is water purification tablets. So very simply, those can go in my inside zippered pocket, and they're there, and I have them in case of an emergency. Now also, what I've done is put a ranger band around a Sawyer Mini with a small lanyard and a carabiner, and then in my back pocket right here, which is a large pocket, I can attach that, and it's there in case of emergency. Now once the weather gets to freezing temperatures for winter, that will come out of there, and possibly I'll replace this with some other type of kit. But for now, that's where that's gonna go, and forget about it. Under the category of multi-tool, now I have a Leatherman Super Tool. It's pretty heavy, so I generally like to go with my Swiss Army knife. It has lots of little functions, from a small saw, blades, scissors, awls, things like that. So this is kind of a handy little tool for just simple whittling, whatever you want to do. Maybe you want to whittle a little stick so you can cook some of your sausage or whatever. So generally, in my right front pocket, I'll keep my Swiss Army knife connected, and that'll be in that pocket because that's something I'm probably going to use fairly frequently. Now, when I'm carrying a knife, I always like to have something to sharpen the knife with, just in case. So this happens to be just a Smith's sharpener, It has a carbide and a ceramic, and then it also has another little sharpening kind of stone thing there. So that's pretty handy. So those two items can just clip in the front, and that way I can always keep my knife, or maybe I've got my hatchet and my other bigger knife on me. I can pull out my little sharpening tool and keep those items, you know, touched up so they're always nice and razor sharp. So that's 15 very simple items that you can carry in the pockets of your smock. They're not going to weigh you down. They're fairly light. You spread them out. You have some here, here, back here. Now, you can get into carrying more items like emergency blankets or orange signal panels, things like that. I mean, whatever you decide. Maybe you want to put orange marking flagging tape in your pocket, you know, to mark on some trees or whatever. There's lots of different items that you can put. Now, the items that I put in here, some are for really extreme emergency situations, and others are items that I'm going to regularly use. Cooper, come here, buddy. You're pushing the camera. Come here. Good boy. So that's just kind of my thought process behind all that. All right, everyone. I hope you have a great day, and we'll catch you again. Bye now.